But we're here to show you that we just refuse to go away. So.
Well, all of my songs are written about real people, either me or a friend.
Dialogues to me, dialogues to her, dialogues to John.
Christine divorced John, and I left Lindsay. Love wasn't working out. So we went into Rumours, all of us on the rocks.
There's always a certain amount of romance on our records.
It's one of the most famous rock albums in history.
Gazillions of dollars on this stupid drug. This is crazy.
Lots of top 10 hits.
Much of the appeal of Rumours went beyond the music itself.
Fleetwood Mac would not go on without Chris and me.
We were the innovators of that kind of thing.
No matter what it takes, we're going to keep Fleetwood Mac together, and our breaking up is not going to break up this band.
She left me.
We always seemed to kind of agree, basically, on musical things.
Shacking up is all you want to do, which was not true. And I would just be going, don't look at me when you say that.
When you come together with 4 tried and trusted other musicians.
A kind of soft rock novel.
A soap opera, perhaps.
Well, I was trying to raise it a little bit.
And we're back. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Hi. I didn't think we would do this again, but we were doing it again.
Yeah. I'm back. I have a reason to listen to Fleetwood Mac again.
That's right.
I feel like in about 4 years, I'll have listened to maybe 5 Fleetwood Mac albums.
That's right.
So if we keep doing this,
they got a lot. We can go way back.
This
too.
is just a ploy to make me into. Are you being paid by Big Mac?
That's
Is Big Mac
the Big Mac with the secret sauce? I'm getting the secret sauce. Welcome everybody. We're still calling it Two Tusks. But we are going to do another shorter series here on Rumours.
Okay.
The previous album from Fleetwood Mac, this is 1977, recorded in 1976. And then it came out in February of 77.
Okay.
And this is the big Fleetwood Mac album. Tusk, the interesting thing about Tusk was it was right after Rumours had just blown up into the super sensation. And so in that sense, they had kind of everything they wanted, everything they needed at their fingertips.
Yeah.
Where here, the story of Rumours is a little more scrappy, and also at the start of the album process, the White Album, the 75 Fleetwood Mac album, has only it's got a really long tail on it. So it's only starting to kind of pop and fizzle a little bit as they're starting the recordings for Rumours.
Okay.
So before we get into it, what we're gonna do is similar to the Tusk season. We are going to listen through the 11 songs of Rumours, and then I've pulled 11 alternate versions of Rumours. Okay, so this is the funny thing about this. When I was planning this a few weeks ago, I was like, there's not an alternate Rumours. The stuff on the super deluxe version is you would look at it kind of like an alternate Rumours, but it's not set up the same way.
Okay.
Some of the songs aren't, there just isn't an extra alternate song for some of them.
It's kind of those crappy Overwatch skins where it's just a slightly different color than the regular
they hit
one.
the hue slider.
Yeah.
And so I picked from a couple of the different demo discs.
Okay.
And then today I go and I look up, and it turns out they did make an alternate Rumours.
Oh, okay.
And similarly, they did kind of pull from between both discs. So I'm going to have a playlist linked in the podcast notes with the exact track lists that we're listening to. And I'll put them on screen somewhere so that you know exactly what. But for us and listening, it doesn't really matter too much, other than to say there is something called the alternate Rumours out there.
Now, I'm curious, have you listened to the alternate Rumours tracks, or are you going in just as blind as I am this time?
I haven't listened to them as hard as I did for the Tusk series. Also because I think one thing we're going to find is that whenever they put together the alternate Rumours, I don't think they had the same kind of guiding star as from Tusk of the feeling of what's a different version of this? And just kind of a desperate, what's the so that we can have a.
They didn't have the messiness of creating 18 different versions and different takes and different instruments in a different building in a different state.
Exactly.
Yes, with different drugs.
And though I think I will also be referring to a book like we did for the Tusks series.
Okay.
So Ken Calais, who wrote the Get Tusked book,
Mhm.
he also wrote a biography about Rumours called Making Rumours. That is Ken Calais, and his co-author is Stephen Stiefel.
Okay.
So just a heads up on that one. So we
Now-
got some stories from the producer's side as well.
Did we do this in the wrong order? Should we have done this one first? Was this the first book and then Tusk was the second book? Or?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
We're definitely doing them out of order.
Okay.
I think the first book is like, I want to say that the Get Tusked book was like a COVID product where Making Rumours was like 2014, 2015.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a gap there too. And it's funny reading the second book and then the first book because there's stuff that he covered in the first book that he covers in more depth in the Tusk book that you can tell was just like half told because there was a chance he was never going to tell the whole story in the first
Right.
one.
Okay. So this is like when they make the sequel and it's a prequel. This is like
Yes.
when you watch
That's what
John
we're
Wick 2
doing.
and it's John Wick 2 Origins or
We're
whatever.
doing the Neil Cicierega mouth sounds,
Yes.
mouth movements. thing.
Yes.
How did you feel going into side A? I don't know did you listen to any of side B going into this?
No. I kept it specifically to side A, and a lot like with Tusk. Well, I had a lot of different feelings. One was that listening to side A was so fast.
Yeah.
This is like 6 3-minute songs. There's no 8-minute epics. There's
Even with
no
a piano ballad at the
Mhm.
end, which is kind of short too.
Yeah. The Stevie Nicks song is like 4 minutes as opposed to 9, cut down from 14 or whatever. So at first I realized it was very breezy.
Yeah.
I also at first I think that I've kind of dug into these a little harder as I listen to them more and more. But at first I was a little put off at how so weird because of this whole Tusk thing. I was put off at how easy.
I've ruined this band for you.
No, it's a weird experience to be like, man, these are easy songs to listen to. I don't have to try to like any of these. Like they're relatively breezy. They're short. They get to the point.
Yeah.
So
Even I'm looking at side B, where I think side B has the more like floaty sort of like
Mhm.
what are we doing here songs, and even then, it's not a heavy ask.
Yeah.
I think.
I guess the other thing, this is a question that I had about the whole like kind of state of the band, and I kept myself from looking. I was like looking at a Wikipedia page, and I was like, I need to stop looking at this because if there's things here, I want Bryce to tell me.
Sure.
I think it's important before we start for you to tell me what state of relationship the band
Yes.
is with each other, who is dating who and who broke up with who, because so much of this band is just talking about, it's just shit talking each other.
Absolutely.
And how you're feeling. So
Fleetwood Mac, famously, this formation of Fleetwood Mac had come together just before 1975. We talked a little bit about this in the previous one, but the Fleetwood Mac at the time was a 3-piece unit. They had just lost their guitarist. It was just Mick and John and Christine, and they were looking for a new guitarist, a new singer to come in.
how long was Christine in the band? Was she all the way back to the beginning, or
Nearly into the beginning. I
Okay.
want to say she was there from one of the very first albums on. She was only like a year or two after the rest of the band started. And so in LA, Mick hears the Buckingham Nicks record, and like sight unseen is like, call him, I want him. And with Lindsay, it was kind of the package deal. If you want me, I gotta have Stevie in the band.
Okay.
Because they're working together. They're a creative powerhouse. And then Bob's your uncle. So by that point, it's like a tough. It's like we're in a strained relationship, but we're joining the band anyway
with
Stevie and
Steve and
Lindsay.
Lindsay? Okay, all right.
At this point, also Christine and John have separated, and so coming off the back of the White album, the Fleetwood Mac 1975 album, a lot of that material on that album was songs that were written before the band kind of came together. You know, a lot of Christine's songs would have just been for whatever the next Fleetwood Mac album is, and then the Stevie and Lindsay songs were going to be for another Buckingham Nicks album, their kind of duo thing.
Okay.
Where Rumours is like putting everyone together and trying to really get the full mixture of everyone.
Okay.
By the time that they're starting Rumours, that relationship chart hasn't changed very much, other than at the start of the process. That seems when there's definitely the big breakup between Lindsay and Stevie near the start of this process. And I want to say that the Christine and John dynamic has kind of a tough turn somewhere around here.
Okay.
Not one of the more well. The interesting thing about using Ken Caillet's recounting of the story is that he is coming at it from the engineer and producer side.
Okay.
And so a lot of his stories are about what happens in the studio and what he sees in and around the music.
Okay.
And so it means that a lot of stuff, like some of the personal relationship stuff, is kind of left to like his best guess from the time.
Sure.
Like there's one point in the recording session where they've got a lot of stuff recorded and everyone needs a break. So they give everyone like weeks off, right? And so Stevie and Christine take like 3 full weeks off because at this point they're not needed. They're going to do guitar stuff and rhythm stuff. They're not needed.
Yeah.
And so they go to Hawaii. And something that Ken kind of, he doesn't say it as fact, but he says, I strongly think that this probably happened, which is that so the girls are gone for 3 weeks. Mick and John are gone for, I want to say, a week or two, overlapping that.
Oh, no.
And Ken believes that Mick spent some amount of time in Hawaii overlapping with Stevie, and that there may have been some sort of get together there.
Okay.
This is even before the more well-known small relationship that Mick and Stevie had during the, I guess would have been the Tusk time.
Okay.
And so that's we're at Rumours.
Okay.
We're making rumors.
We got a lot of rumors.
We got some rumors going on.
I was just scared because leaving Lindsay alone with a studio and instruments seems like a bad idea to me after what I know from Tusk. Like, you're going to come back and he says, erased all the masters. And he's like, I redid all of this in a garbage can because it sounds better that way.
You're going to listen to the next episode, buddy.
Okay.
So Rumours, one of the things about Rumours that I want to talk about just in general before we get into the songs again is that when we were doing Tusk, my sense of Rumours, and maybe the sense you would get if you kind of look at it from like a Wikipedia feet view,
Sure,
is that like it's the band that go to Sausalito and at the record plant there, they bang it, they do it all there, and that's where they're crashing out and everything's happening, and then the album is like birthed. And I think that only is probably the first like 30 or 40% of the album process. You know, after that point, they go back to LA. The whole like second half or more of the album is done at various studios in LA. There's a big recording session that they do in Miami because they're also in the middle of this. Their record label wants them to go on tour because the White Fleetwood Mac album is starting to blow up. And so I think that Rumours is a little bit scrappier because the band can't push everything else to the side.
right.
And they have to come up with this, sophomore album while also their previous album is finding traction. So maybe that speaks to some of the actual delta we see maybe between some of the alternate takes and the studio versions or the finished versions. But yeah, I think we're ready to jump in. Okay.
Sounds good.
So we got our first song here, Secondhand News. This is Lindsey Buckingham's track. We'll listen to a little bit of a preview of it.
When times go bad, when times go rough, won't you lay me down in the
like a really rollicking start to the album.
Mhm.
You know, it's one of the things about this song that I didn't realize until rereading it in the book even was there's like no space for Christine in this song. Like,
Okay.
There's no piano part.
Yeah.
If she's a vocal, she's one of the like
The kind of chorus
in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it is rollicking, and it really starts us off with the conflict of the album.
Mhm.
You know, it's lay me down in the tall grass and let me do my stuff.
I have a question about the tall grass.
Yeah.
I don't know what that line means. Lay me down in the tall grass and let me do my stuff. Like I've never heard the tall grass as like an idiom. I've never heard lay down in the tall grass as like a saying.
Well, I mean, if we want to like really break it down to its constituent parts, right? You have the tall grass, lay me down almost like roll around the tall grass. I mean, I don't think we're very far from the insinuendo that we're trying to get to.
Sure.
But it speaks of this back and forth of I don't need you, but we bang well. We bang the drum.
Oh, Lindsay.
Right?
You've got like 4 songs. And sometimes I really like them and sometimes I don't like them.
So Secondhand News was the kind of work in progress title was Strummer. Apparently, this is we talked about this a little bit with Tusk, that when he brought it to the band and played it initially, he was kind of like faking some of the words. Like,
is that where the bow 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 do part comes in?
that's a good question, because I think that was a part of the song relatively early on. The story was that he did that to like note what guitar part he wanted to do for that, but then the work vocal worked really good and bow bow bow.
Yeah, just left it in.
Keep it in. But I guess when he played this early on, he didn't really sing it with the lyrics because quote from Making Rumours, he knew that Stevie would get into an argument with him when she heard them, and he didn't want to have another fight with her over his song's lyrics.
Man.
I know. And this is like this is not the first song, but it's one of the earlier songs that they recorded.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that there's the album's called Rumours because, as the story goes, is when they were done, they looked back and said, oh, all of our songs are about each other. And it wasn't like it was a big aha moment. Like these are smart people. They're not stupid. They know Lindsay knew Secondhand News would be understood by Stevie to some degree. The same way Dreams is understood to be a bit at Lindsay.
Sure.
I think it was John who suggested the title Rumours, partly because of this, but at the same time, they knew what was going on in the recording process. So it wasn't like, what did we do?
I don't know. After 2 Fleetwood Mac albums, one thing that really struck me yesterday was I was like, when do Mick and John get to write their songs about how they feel about each other? Like some kind of rollicking, like, I'm tired of these drama queens. Like,
I got the sense that Mick and John really just liked to play.
Yeah.
They really enjoyed the actual playing process, and a lot of the way that the songwriting process goes, especially for this band, was they would get together in the studio and they would kind of, they would run it through and they would just try to figure it out. There wasn't like writing out what my solo is going to be. I'm going to play this and I'm going to play this. It would be verse, chorus, we go, in fact, Secondhand News kind of gets into this a little bit. So I'm gonna turn the preview back on here a little bit. I want you to listen to the bass guitar here for Secondhand News.
Okay.
it's very half note,
Mhm.
half note,
Yeah.
half note. This was a major point of contention for the band. So actually, you talked about this a little bit earlier, but in that vacation period, in the period where John and Mick had also gone off,
Right.
Lindsay did stay in LA to continue working on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And this was something that he was working on with Ken and Richard Dashit and all the other folks at the studio. And there were actually two different parts that when Mick and John come back from vacation needed to kind of get settled.
Mm-hmm.
One being the drums. I don't know where this is. I don't know if this is just that drum fill before the chorus that we're talking about here, because I haven't been able to find any other. I was listening. I couldn't hear any other toms.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently this was a bit of a thing where Lindsay recorded how he wanted the toms to sound while the rhythm section is gone. And when Mick gets back, Mick's like, hey, can you just play this? Can you show me what you want me to play this? And Lindsay does it. And Mick's like, I don't know that I can do this. We'll just use your thing.
Yeah.
And John didn't exactly roll over as much. This is going to be a big thing we'll hear in the alternate is what John's earlier bass is. But what he came back from vacation to was, I would like you to play this straighter. I want you to just play this kind of simple progression.
Yeah.
And John was pretty protective of his bass playing. And I think ultimately did acquiesce to the playing here, but at least for the Mick stuff, whatever the tom thing that Lindsay did, that's Lindsay playing it wherever it is.
Interesting.
And this, let's see, this is reading again from Making Rumours. That's when Lindsay first started to get his way with the recording of Fleetwood Mac songs. The other members of the band would just let him play their parts if he couldn't communicate what he wanted from them.
Yowza.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because this is my favorite song on this side.
Really?
I really, really like this song.
Yeah.
Like I like it more than even the other like radio hits that I've heard in the past. And I
Which
think
are all on this side.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
And I think it's because there's a level of, it's got a lot to it. And I think that's one of the things that I've been missing in some of the Fleetwood Mac songs is that there's like three things. And then they just do those three things over and over again.
Okay.
And in this song, there's a lot, like the drums are a lot more forward than they were in anything in Tusk. I think that like, I like the vocal harmonies that go on in there.
Yeah.
I love, there's that crazy guitar solo that comes out towards the end. It's like a little, crazy electric guitar solo. And it's just like, it's like a rich tapestry that has a lot going on. And
even
I
the
think
structure is kind of nice where it doesn't end on a chorus. It ends on the kind of outro of, I'm just a
the secondhand news thing. I also think that I like the lyrical content a little bit more because between the like secondhand news, that's a good saying. And even when I was talking about the Tallgrass stuff, it's like that to me read as more, I don't know. I like a lot of bands that have just kind of abstract imagery in their songs, being a child of the 90s, right? So
this one like definitely has it, but also is the singer stating their feelings.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. It reminds me of this band. I mean, not exactly, but it reminded me a lot of this band that I like called the Agony Ants that have these very kind of like very complicated songs that go all over the place. And they've got a lot of vocal harmonies and a lot of different instruments and they're all kind of going at the same time. And I don't know, I think that this was, I forgot what the song was on Tusk. It was like on the side one of Tusk that I really liked where it was like, this seems like a good pop song that's like 3 minutes long, but it's also not too simple. Like it's got a lot. It's complicated. And so you can listen to it and keep getting more and more and more out of it.
I really like the that ching, 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 ching sort of sound.
Yeah.
They talk a little bit about how they get that really sharp guitar like string sound. So when you record a guitar, you have the actual guitar and it has a cable that goes into an amp.
Yeah.
And the amp does a lot of the stuff, but also the guitar does a lot of the stuff. And in the studio, you can just put that amp in its own room and just record it on its own.
Right.
So the guitar is playing, but the actual loud noise is coming from another booth.
Sure.
But what they did, along with miking the amp and all, they
mic'd the guitar.
They mic'd the guitar with a little lavalier mic, just a little like a collar mic. And that is enough to get all of that like really high,
the kind of picking, strumming, kind of parts.
It works really, really well here. So much so that it makes me feel like this song especially is almost like an off-ramp into Tusk, because I feel like the drums are very prominent, but I think that they're really back. Like the kick, there is a really deep kick, but it feels like really kind of small. There is a snare, but I found it kind of weak. Where versus like the guitar and those little ching 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 chings, like a lot of the guitar layering on here feels like the use of like a guitar as a like a percussive instrument in Tusk a little bit.
It might just be because the drums just got so lost in every Tusk song. Like there was very few of them where they were allowed to just do, and I was finally like, oh, I'm hearing some of the actual like competency of a jazz drummer. It's not complex, but it's incredibly well played. Like it's very, and it just
the simple parts are maybe too simple even. Like it really is just kick, snare, or a kick and hi-hat. Like it's.
But I thought that,
but that makes it also prominent. That's where I agree with you a little bit about it.
I thought that there was some stuff in here that I was hearing, though. I could be wrong because all this kind of blurred together a little bit. But I thought that this one was one where I was hearing a lot of like hit the hi-hat, snap it shut. That I was hearing this like where you would have like a ring on what the hi-hat would be, and you get that by hitting it and then clamping it to just like cut it off really fast, like or it's like it just.
Snaps. It's in the outro where where you get a lot more of that.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the other little bits from this was that I guess they wanted to record, I don't know, some sort of cymbal crashing overdub, like this very specific cymbal. And so Mick just like hits it. There's just somewhere in a tape track somewhere, there's just a track of Mick hitting the cymbal, and the sentiment was just use it wherever. Just put it in the thing, whatever it needs to be, and we'll move on.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever it all was, I loved the way it came together. I thought it was a good song, and I think that because of the kind of the secondhand news and the Tallgrass and that kind of stuff, that this is probably the song on this side, maybe the second, with like the most lyrical content that doesn't seem like a thinly veiled like burn book at the rest of the band. Like, and it's also because the way that the song has it's kind of an upbeat song, right? It's got a kind of like nice snappy upbeat kind of both in the melody and in the
there's something
secondhand news, like it kind of goes up.
There's something to a pop song being upbeat that makes it feel more pleasant than it is, you know? Yeah. Oh, let's jump into the alternate version. So this is from the disc known as Sessions, Roughs, and Outtakes. So this is Secondhand News, the alternate.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm old enough to say someone has taken my place. When times go bad, times go rough, won't you lay me down in the tall grass and let me do my stuff? I know I got nothing on you.
here we go. Right? It's so this is kind of the state of what the alternates are a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah.
Pretty, in most cases, pretty close to the final thing.
Mm-hmm.
Usually with some stuff unfinished, some stuff in a slightly earlier state. For here, there's like no electric guitar. There's obviously no guitar solo. Even the rhythm, the drum fills are all gone.
Yep.
Those little tiny toms are gone too.
All the guitar, that strumming kind of hardness is gone. Also, it seems like all the vocals seem like they were further back, or like they had more reverb on them, or both.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if I'm not mistaken, a lot of those verses weren't they doing a thing in the album track where it's like you were singing the first half and then there was like harmony on the second half, like it would like start with just Lindsay and then like and then there would be like more harmony on the second half of the sentence.
So those like overdubs, like that's a lot of what the polish is here in this process. Is how do we up it with harmonies, guitars, solos, and stuff. The big thing here, did you hear the bass track?
Sort of.
It was, we'll go back and listen to it again. It's, I think they kind of describe it as like a walking style of bass. Here, listen to it one more time.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of goes up and down a scale.
Yeah. Which I think maybe it's too cutesy. Maybe that's why Lindsay didn't like that bass, because it sounds like kind of friendly versus a little more poker face.
I mean, as much as I'm not, I always have a hard time with bass because sometimes I don't necessarily hear it as much. With anything else, I don't focus on it nearly as much as like the drum side of things.
Yeah.
But I think that I liked what was in the other one better. I mean, I think even if it was more kind of plodding, I think that like so much of the rest of that song was up front to the point where I think like a really rich bass line might have then distracted what you were doing, because I think that like a good kind of clangy guitar and drums can really synergize together, of kind of being in the higher tempo range. And in that when they're all over the place with both the drums, if your drums and your guitar are both fronted, a lot of times I feel like the bass line needs to be your anchor in the back, as opposed to having just like a very simple drum line.
Yeah. And that's definitely how the final track is, where the bass has like nowhere to play.
Right.
Like it has to be on the 1 and the 3 pretty much.
Especially because you also have the vocal harmonies in there as well. So there's just like a lot going on to the point where it's like, if everybody turns it up to 11, then sometimes it can end up being a mess.
Yeah. Imagine like trying to also find a place for Christine to play the piano in the middle of this, you know, like, there's a lot.
I don't know. You could have made a piano solo instead of an electric organ solo at the end instead of guitar solo.
Bing, 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 bing.
I mean, like not to jump ahead too much, but like when it comes to bass, I think that one of the main things I thought with Dreams was that I would have liked to have heard the bass do more there. But
that's
we'll
another.
Get to that.
We'll get to that in a sec. But just I think a really interesting set of decisions, because I kind of see where you go down the path of what we've got here in the alternate, and you kind of try to build more, right, with more melodic complexity versus a more kind of pointed arrangement, you know, with the guitars, with the kind of high strummy guitars.
Instead of complexity, it's more like just stacking and stacking and stacking with the chorus and the guitar, and then the guitar sound and all that stuff.
Yeah, because there's a lot of these songs, especially as we hear kind of more stripped back versions. Really, if you go back to the studio tracks afterwards, you'll realize, oh my gosh, there's a lot of layering on this. This isn't just like the band got in the studio and they did, like, there's a lot of
production and
Production.
mixing and
the
adding,
idea of the studio as an instrument.
Mhm.
There's a part that Ken talks about during the mixing for Go Your Own Way. And as they're recording it, they don't like have a guitar solo fully figured out yet. They have like a lot of different takes of pieces of it. And he is like the magic fingers who makes all the faders go up and down the right way to piece together this guitar solo. But we'll get to that in a bit.
I to close it out, I would say that if I had bought this album and I turned it on, I would be incredibly happy with this as a first song. Like, it's a great launching off point for what goes on.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it reminds me a little bit of the first song from the White Album, Monday Morning, which is kind of similar, like just kind of gets into it. Monday morning, you show, it jumps right into it. And I think it kind of sets the stage for this being a real poppy album.
Right.
And I mean, I think you wouldn't listen to this and even think this is like a rock song. I think you would hear this as like maybe a folk rock song, but I think you'd put pop first.
It's got a lot of country to it as well. Like, it kind of meanders in that direction, but I don't think it goes all the way. And I think it skirts up against folk, but it doesn't go all the way. Like, it kind of, especially the electric guitar at the end. Like,
and I think that's something that the walking bass keeps us away from.
Yeah.
Keeps it away from feeling really folksy and boom, 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 boom. I don't know why I was doing the Seinfeld thing. I didn't mean to do it. That's also a walking. Ever notice how folksy Seinfeld is? Okay. Let's jump into Dreams.
Okay.
Track number 2 is Stevie Nicks' track. Let's just jump right in. I don't think it needs a lot of introduction before we talk about it. Here it is, Dreams. Just pop purity. Just pop purity with Dreams. How do you feel about Dreams?
It grew on me. I didn't necessarily care for it at first.
Oh,
I think that there's this thing when we've gone through Tusk, we've gone through some of these. Like I said in the beginning, I appreciate a Stevie Nicks song that's not 8 minutes long, because this is one of the first times I've run across those.
Yeah.
I wish that Stevie Nicks songs, maybe this is maybe I'm fundamentally asking for the impossible. I sometimes wish that you could take 30% of Lindsey Buckingham's screwing around musical bullshit and get it into a Stevie Nicks song, because they're very musically simple, like where the music is kind of a backdrop for Stevie to tell her witchy story, to you. And I sometimes wish that there was more, that the music had more to do than just kind of to buoy her up.
Yeah.
Like what I was talking about last time was that I really wish, Like the drums are very even here. There's a few fills, but they're all very workmanlike. I kind of wish that there was some interplay between the lyrics and the music.
And the rhythm,
like
yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a more complicated bass line, or
You only get like a little moment in the second verse.
Yeah.
Of
but the bass is so forward. Like you can hear it very clearly because the song is so stripped down.
right.
But then it doesn't do very much. And I would have liked to have seen more, or all of the thunder, it's like this is an opportunity for some strange percussion, or I don't know. Like I mean, bring in somebody with some toms or something to throw a little bit more on there.
That's interesting. I wonder if we should have done this album backwards, because I feel like we're gonna listen to another version from the sessions, roughs and outtakes, where it's a little more pared back.
Oh,
and I wonder if you're gonna listen to that and think, "Oh, I see where all of that was."
okay.
And because there's a chance that like it all gels together really well, that it just seems seamless, or maybe you'll still be left wanting at the end of it because it is what it is. But
The thing is, Stevie Nicks has
you
such
don't
a
jam with this song. This is such a fucking banger.
Stevie Nicks has
When the rain washed it.
Stevie Nicks has such a reputation of being such a great lyricist, and I it may be one of those things where it's just been built up too much in my mind, and then I finally go to listen to Fleetwood Mac, and I'm like, this is fine. I'd like to hear.
It is a vibe song. It's not a 100% song.
Yeah.
It is like you got to, if you get in the groove on the resonance frequency, then by the end you will really have been like on the ride.
Right.
And if not, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Can you speed this up a little bit?
I also want to know what this is maybe go back to other albums or solo career or whatnot. I kind of like to hear what Stevie Nicks sounds like when she's singing about not feelings. I don't know if that's a thing.
Feelings are music, Jeff.
I know.
Feelings are the music.
I know.
So the thing about Dreams is Fleetwood Mac's big single. If you look statistically wise, it's this one.
Yeah.
Because it's the only #1 Hot 100 Billboard song Fleetwood Mac ever had.
Really?
So they've had plenty of other hits, sold plenty of other records, but this is at least in the US, the #1.
Okay.
In the studio that they recorded this in, this would have been at the record plant. They had a room for Sly Stone, who was a psychedelic guitarist. To quote from Making Rumours, Stevie was foremost a singer-songwriter. She wasn't into the technical end of the music. So while all of the experimentation was going on in the studio with the other members of the band, she was frustrated and pretty much bored out of her mind. Sly Stone's weird space had a 4-poster bed covered in black fur and an entrance regarding 2 furry red lips. Stevie took Ginny, her little dog, with her, and they immersed themselves in the space. The quiet of Sly's pit was the escape she was looking for. She was in there for hours at a time. Much of the vocal... we'll get to that. So she wrote this while, the band was working on other stuff. There's another demo on the disc 3 Super Deluxe of Rumours, which is just... I don't know if it's just her demo or what, but it's just Stevie's voice and a Rhodes piano playing Dreams. And I think that's a really interesting alternate as well, because I think it showcases how much the vocal melody carries that song.
Okay.
Right? I think the studio version's great because you have all the backing and all the harmonies to really enforce, like, this is the chorus. Like it gives everything that happens like a real big weight to it.
Yeah.
And just the demo is not, it's just the Rhodes and the voice.
Okay.
But one thing about Dreams, talked about the Miami studio that they used a little bit. The kind of the pre-chorus harmonies in Dreams apparently came out of those Miami sessions. By that point, the band had, been asked to go and do a leg of touring, I guess. And during that, they were touring the White Album, but they also it seemed like they performed like half of Rumours on a lot of these show dates.
Yeah.
Which looking back, you think must have been amazing, but also probably would have been really annoying. Like, you're Fleetwood Mac, play Rhiannon. I don't want to hear this new bullshit. I'm here for Over My Head.
Oh, I don't know. Once you've gone to enough shows, you realize you're going to hear 3 of the songs that you like. You're going to hear some new bullshit, and then who knows what else is going to happen. You're going to have a cover of a song on the encore or whatever.
But apparently, playing those in the live shows helped the band kind of figure out how to flesh out the songs more.
Sure.
In a way that like Tusk never had that interruption, I want to say.
Yeah. You can see what the crowd reaction is, right? To specific versions. You could change things up. You get a focus group every night that you could throw one question at.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's like, this is what you're singing to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a strange thing that I noticed in the lyrics to this that I remembered from Tusk, that there's a few things. Let's see if we can move this lyric right
Women,
here.
they will come and they will go.
This is the second time in Tusk. There was also another song where Stevie talked about women. Like the lyric was about, about like what women do or whatever.
Women usually are.
Yeah, like women usually are.
From Beautiful Child.
Yes, yeah. I found that interesting because this is another example of her talking about women and not including herself in the group or
it's from the other perspective. It's to you. Women are going to come and go.
Right.
But
and I just thought that was interesting. So
this is kind of considered to play off of Go Your Own Way, in that this is Stevie's view of the relationship breaking up, and Go Your Own Way is Lindsay's very pointed description of the relationship. The Dreams is a little more open to like, hey, you could turn this around. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know.
Like I find a lot of the Stevie Nicks talking about this relationship to be very passive aggressive, and
what you lost,
right? And I feel a lot of Lindsey Buckingham's description of this to be very melodramatic. Like Stevie Nicks just seems like, well, that's what you want to do. Like, I'll just be over here being the best thing that you threw away. Yeah. So
it is really difficult to mix the creative and the personal. Like it's super difficult, and I can't imagine what it must be like when it's this situation where you're in a band, the band works well together.
Right.
People are really responding well. It seems like they are only responding the biggest that they've ever responded. And also, I got to see this guy again.
This is success. This is money. This is fame. This is everything. And like 3 out of 5 of these people fucking hate each other so much, like, or don't want to be in the same room together.
Right.
So, but you still, it's like, you don't want to break up. You got this really good thing, but you also have to kind of grit your teeth through these personalities.
And it's seeming like that there's an understanding on both sides.
Yeah.
I've heard Stevie Nicks quote from, I don't know, a decade or so ago, and talking about the breakup, and she said, we made it very clear we were not going to break Fleetwood Mac up. And I think partly because they knew they just had a previous album, which seemed like it was doing. They knew that this album has something.
Sure.
There's something in here.
Well, if I could, that's when it sometimes drives me up the wall. But as I was looking at this kind of zoomed out, it was like, no wonder this band is so popular. They've got all of the emotionally messy songs that you want to listen to.
Yeah.
When you've broken up, they've got breakup songs. They've got love songs. They've got like you cheated on me songs. They've got like
get out of here,
get out of here. Yeah, get the hell out of here.
I
like,
know.
if you want a song about some messy shit, Fleetwood Mac has got you covered, man.
That's why I don't love the moniker of like the musical soap opera.
Right.
Because like they're real people.
Yeah.
Like that is the power of it.
It's not a telenovela.
Yeah, that's right.
It's actually happening.
It's real. This is real.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, let's go into the alternate dreams. This is the one from Sessions, Roughs, and Outtakes. And this one is more pared back, but is pretty much, I would say, full run through of the song.
Okay.
All right, here we go. The alternate dreams.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You Second verse. Now here I go again and see the crystal changes. I keep my visions to myself. It's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams and have you any dreams you like yourself. Dreams of loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost, what you had, ooh, what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. Oh, when the rain washes you clean, you know. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You know. You know. Oh, you know.
Go back to the other one real quick. I want to hear the studio. Just like the first few bars.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down?
Okay.
There we go. The alternate dream. What were you hearing? What'd you hear?
Boy, I like that better.
Really?
I like that a lot
the
better.
pared down version?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. It's like in the beginning, the way that everything is so tight,
Mhm.
and there's like this silence that you hear. In fact, I wanted to go back to the other one because I was like, how did that happen? And it's because the bass line never lets up. And in this alternate version,
there's no bass at all.
Okay.
I think it doesn't sound like there's a bass guitar.
I thought there might have been a little bit in there, but it sounded like
there's the Rhodes piano. So maybe that was what filled kind of that part of the frequency.
Yeah.
But it didn't sound like there was John playing the bass guitar.
Okay.
But that Rhodes piano is there more prominently than it is in the studio track.
I felt like that was exactly what I wanted in this way, where you had this very stripped down audioscape behind it, but it was very tight. It was very in time. It was always there, but then guitar would drift in a little bit more for a little while, and then the drums would have a little fill in here, and then you would hear the piano, the organ kind of come in, and it was all kind of in between the lyrics in a way where it was like accents. It was like splashes of color that fly in at certain parts, and not to
that's fascinating.
I don't want bassists to get mad at me or anything, but like having that.
Wow.
I think that a lot of times when some of these backing tracks, they just feel very like, it's just like they never stop. They're just kind of doing this one thing over and over again. And by not having that bass to kind of glue the silence between like the hi-hat hits and other stuff together, there was just like this interesting silence in the beginning that was like, just made everything that much more stark. And then I feel like as it went on, that towards the end, there was less of that silence. It was like everything was loosening up a little bit more, or there was just more music, to the point where in the beginning, I felt like there was this very stark. I thought that was incredibly interesting. I like that a lot more.
So there's a lot that's not in that. I don't think there's any bass guitar. There's a lot less of the guitar. It sounds like we just hear some either acoustic guitar or just a single like electric. But you don't get the like, you know, all the little background guitars. You don't get any of the vocal harmonies, any of the vocal unison. Even some of the little things, like during the line in the second verse, it's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams, and I wrap around your dreams. That the bass line, like that's not in this. There's a lot of the drum fills and drum ad libs are in there, but not having that bass is like kind of a weird. You also don't have the xylophone in the pre-chorus. There's just a little xylophone in the pre-chorus in the studio version. Wow, that's.
Well, I don't know. What do you think about it? I don't know that we always get the Bryce's perspective on this.
I think it shows how much like fit and finish is going on with this album. How much of it is not just the good idea, and not even just the execution of singing and drums, but how it all comes together in what is kind of, I don't know, I think it's endemic too much to say. Like I think it's like an iconic song of Fleetwood Mac, and I think it is because of that pop production of having the kind of padded, almost sort of guitar sounds, having all of those vocal harmonies, especially the end, you know, you know, like all of that is so like perfect and like really well buttoned that it's hard to fault it in my eyes. It's catchy, and it's like it's a little bitchy, but it's not like fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. It's just like, why don't you get rained on, Buster?
Right. It's not that funny.
Right. It's a little funny.
It's a little funny.
A little bit. But I highly recommend that the listeners check out the other version of Dreams on the disc 3, more from the recording sessions.
Okay.
I think they call it Take 2. And it's just Stevie and the Rhodes piano. And it's cool. I think one of the things here that this alternate take that we listened to is a pretty early vocal take, but it is still pretty much mostly what we hear in the studio version.
Sure.
They kept trying to get new vocal takes and see if there was any improvement, but they really just liked that first one. So I think they just took it and augmented it, which is another like weird part of recording, that just like something from the beginning something so pivotal can like happen right at the start of the process,
Right.
and then live on all the way through the end of it.
Sure, yeah.
Get
Get that lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. And when it rains, when you're clean from that bottle. All right.
Can I just real briefly, because you mentioned that, this is another one of those Stevie songs where I'm like, seems like this should have been called like In the Rain or Thunderstorm or something. Like there's a few lines about dreams, but the entire chorus is about the rain washing you clean, and then it only in the second part just briefly dips into dreams.
Do you know what the working title for this was?
No.
I think when they played the demo for everyone, they called it Spinners, because they thought it would sound. There's a band called the Spinners, and they thought it would sound like the Spinners song. Now I have to Google the Spinners and see.
These alternate titles are not my favorite thing in the world.
Okay, give me 1 second. I was so furious, I broke my pen. So
Oh,
I'm gonna go. How dare he? All right, 2 down. Let's jump into another one. Never Going Back Again. Track number 3. A like guitar feature for Lindsay.
Yep.
You want to take a listen to a preview?
Sure.
She broke down and let me in. Made me see where I've been. Been down 1 time, been down 2 times. Never going back again.
There we go. So quaint and pretty. There's no problems here. We're just strumming along. How did you feel about Never Going Back Again?
I didn't care for it. I didn't care for it. I'll be honest. I like a lot of the tracks on this side.
It's capital F folk.
Yes. It's not my genre. I hope that people understand by this point about my opinions that I am not a fan of when Lindsey Buckingham is let to just go do his own thing. I don't find him to be like, I think that his guitar chops are good to very good. I don't think that they warrant him and a guitar
just a single
microphone.
guitar.
Yes. I think that I think that some of his lyrics are good to very good.
Yeah.
I think the singing is more works better in a pop arrangement than it does in this kind of crooning, sitting on a stool, singing your heart out.
Definitely, thinking of like the great Lindsey Buckingham songs, they're like hard rock songs. They're hard, really emotional, and this one is much more slight.
Yeah.
Lyrically, it's very loose, very light touch. We don't need to scroll.
What after you've been down 1 time, then what happened? Oh, I've been down 2 times. Okay, I've been down 2 times.
When he performs it live,
yeah. Does you keep going?
It goes down a 3rd time.
It goes
3 times.
You can just keep that part going up forever. I've been down 13 times.
That would be so. The 2025 version of doing N-words in Paris 10 times in Paris is doing Never Going Back Again over and over again. Oh my goodness. So this was originally called Brushes.
These alternate titles.
Well, because Never Going Back Again, the story of that was they built a song and it was called Brushes because Lindsay wanted Mick to play a brush on it.
I could see that working in this very well, like as a backing, like very light kind of brushy
And I
jazz
think
drums.
they went pretty far in putting together a rhythm section for this. The alternate that we're going to listen to is an example of an example of that kind of more put together version. Where the idea, I think it would have been near the end of the session, was if we just go down to the guitar and the voice, like that's kind of works for it. That kind of is all it needs.
Okay.
This is also one where when Fleetwood Mac performs this live, this is one of a few songs that Lindsay does that he can do all on one guitar. And that's really, really impressive.
It is impressive. The guitar part, I remember listening to it, trying to figure out, like, is there another person here?
Right.
Like,
and I think on the studio, there is some dubbing. So I think on the studio version, there are I want to say there may be 3 voices of guitar. I still think there's primarily one guitar picking multiple parts.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they did an overdub for high harmonics or something. And then also his voice, I'm pretty sure, is doubled. So you kind of get that 2 voice punch from one person speaking.
I'd be interested to know then what it sounds like live, because I mean the thing I like the most about this is that the guitar is relatively complicated, even if I'm not the biggest fan of the way that the melody goes. So I'd be interested to hear what it sounds like if you have to play it live by yourself.
We're going to listen to the live version at the end of the show today.
Okay.
So that we'll get a chance to listen to that too.
Excellent.
But I really enjoyed kind of listening to this alternate that we're going to have, because it shows what it does. Some of the live versions they've also done a similar arrangement with Mick ends up playing the brushes and Mick starts playing the bass a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting story about Never Going Back Again. So, it's very guitar forward. And in Making Rumours, they talk about they are recording this, I want to say, in that period where it's just Lindsay and the engineers. I'm going to read a part here from Making Rumours. After 40 minutes, the strings would wear and they needed replacing. Restringing the strings at that point would then take 20 minutes. So the recording for the primary guitar part took them about 4 hours. Overdubbing on harmonics took another hour and a half. It in all took about 10 hours to record this guitar part. And then this happens. Oh, there were no vocals at this point. They were just doing the guitar. Because you got to put the instrumental together before you can sing to it.
Sure.
So I'm going to read directly from Making Rumours. The intro started. I added a little reverb to one of the guitars. When we got to the first verse, Lindsay got as far as "She broke down," and he stopped. He sounded like Alfalfa in The Little Rascals with his voice cracking. Let's try it again, he said, clearing his throat. I rewound the tape to the top and hit play and record, and the song started playing from the top. Lindsay tried it again. She broke down and let me in. We all stared at him. Fuck me, he shouted. What? I shouted back. The song's in the wrong key. He sheepishly admitted, I can't sing it. What do we need to do? I asked. We have to re-record everything again.
Oh, no.
And so...
musical genius Lindsay Buckingham, ladies and gentlemen.
What's great, they come back the next day and fucking nail it.
Yeah.
They nail it immediately.
Okay.
But just everyone's had this. Everyone's had this in the creative.
Yeah.
You can see it coming too. You just needed to try. You just needed to try the vocals once to make sure.
It's as you do production and creation and things like that, I feel like some people will eventually start to learn, if I do some of these things ahead of time, then I can make sure that I have a safety, that I'm not going to be wasting my time.
Right.
And invariably, no matter how much you prep, then you learn something new that you didn't, and then suddenly
and you
4
have to
hours
rebuild
are gone.
everything again.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's rip to those 10 hours dutifully lost amongst the 70s. Any other thoughts on Never Going Back Again before we listen to the alternate?
Not really. It's probably not my jam, but
I think you're going to like the alternate here.
Okay.
Let's Duet. This is Never Going Back Again. This is from the third disc of Rumours Super Deluxe, the More from the Recording Sessions. Here we go.
She broke down and let me in. Made me see where I've been. Been down one time, been down two times. Never going back again. You don't know what it means to win. Come down and see me again. Been down one time, been down two times. Never going back again.
There we go. The alternate Never Going Back Again.
Interesting.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
Oh, he hates it, folks.
No, I think that this version shows me more about what I liked about the original
Mm.
and more about what I don't like, because I really do like all the percussion that they added in, like
Yeah.
the bongos or whatever they are, like the floor,
Yeah, some
Bongos,
bongos, and some snare, some brush.
a little bit of brushy jazz like kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I don't like the chorus, the
three voices,
right,
like the harmony.
Yeah, I kind of liked it better when it was just Lindsay, which is something that I wouldn't normally say, but
Yeah.
it seems like a little too much. Like a lot of this seems like I could see paring it down, but I think it's like it swung too far in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody was thinking with those weird guitar fills and backwards guitars and stuff
Yeah.
at the end that seemed completely out of place in such an organic like song. Like the bongos and the the jazz brushes and the guitar is all like very intimate. It's very just like organic, and then suddenly you have this very produced like thing kind of.
You have that in lieu of a solo, right?
Sure.
Even like losing, there's that one vocal line in the studio that's not there, which is the three voices doing just
Right.
And that like holds a lot of the original together.
Mhm.
I think that's something where there's a gap in this version that feels like it needs to be filled.
Yeah.
And I think some of that is that little electric guitar solo or whatever he's doing. And it definitely doesn't read as finished. I wouldn't listen to that and go like, we found it, we figured it out.
Right.
And maybe that's why they leaned into the guitar only version.
Maybe. I mean, I can see listening to this version and saying there's too much going on here. Let's strip it down and rebuild it, and then doing the version that's on the album and going just like, okay, stop. Like that's good. Let's not even bother with any of the rest of this. This is like what I wanted it to feel like in the first place.
And it takes a lot of restraint to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked in Tusk about kind of the drawback of addition by subtraction.
Mhm.
I certainly felt like maybe there's too much of that to us to a detrimental effect, and maybe I said this for secondhand news, and I don't like keep going back to this well, but like maybe this isn't another example of something working well for Rumours,
Mhm.
taking this song where we would have done had everyone have a part and strip it down and leading to something that is also kind of iconic for Lindsay. This song and his strumming multiple parts on one guitar.
Mhm.
He does it with this. He's got a version of Big Love that is just like that. His version of Go Insane that is all on one guitar is like really great. Like it is a start of a trend, at least a line
Sure.
for Lindsay.
Sure.
And
I bet it's incredibly satisfying to play. I mean, like this
God,
thing
I
that
bet.
you put all together and then it's just you,
Yeah.
you know, and a guitar and a microphone. I just want a little gravy with my mashed potatoes. Like I just need a little salt on whatever this is.
Sure.
If you just put in the very soft brush drumming in the background, that probably would have been enough to get me a little bit more on board than I was. But
Interesting. I could yeah.
I also
it's kind of weird because I think this album being, you know, one of the best selling in the world,
Mhm.
one of the most acclaimed, it won Grammys, and us kind of coming to it and saying, but how do we fix you? How do we make you better?
well, I mean, we've talked
but
about this
which
before.
is not to like, we're both on this side here.
Yeah. It's all subjective, right? I mean, like this is my taste in music generally doesn't intersect. This is not my genre
Sure.
that I normally go to. So I like the stuff that hews a little closer to what I like, and you know,
Yeah.
I will be very honest. I do swing a lot on. I don't know very much about him, but I swing a lot on. I think that Lindsey Buckingham is self-indulgent, and I don't like some of the stuff that I'm hearing that sounds like somebody coming into this. Especially, I was reading the Wikipedia article for Rumours. It was like, this is Fleetwood Mac's 11th studio album, and it's like the second one with this Joker that just comes in to this jazz trio and is like, "That's it. This is my band now. Like, you guys could go to Hawaii, and I'm going to re-record this myself."
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
I mean, to play the other side of this, though, you have to think about it. This is a band who hired you to be the guitarist, vocalist, writer.
Yep.
And because otherwise they didn't have a band.
Because they had 11 albums and no hits until this one. Or
They did have a guitarist. They lost a guitarist. Is what they They had you're right. I mean, look, like Albatross is great. OL is great. The Green Manalishi is great. But these are not hit songs.
Right.
You know, they're not pop songs. They are very psych and very bluesy. They're not pop hits. This is the pop album. I mean, even the white Fleetwood Mac is a little more rocky. This is very pop. And
the reason I say that is because I don't know anything about Lindsay. It's just the impression that I got from Tusk and some of the stuff about like him wanting to do things very much his way.
Well, I have a story that I'll share in just a bit about some of the anger of Lindsay. But I mean, that forcefulness in Tusk that made him at the start say, I want to guide the direction of this album or I'm leaving the band. It's my way or the highway.
Right.
And this album of him showing his chops and feeling a need to perform, a need to be in this leading role before the success is even hit.
Sure.
Right? This is like, I have to do this just because we're scraping by
a
little bit.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I've listened to the entire discography and come away very different at this point.
All right. Without ado, never going back. You want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Break it up. Hey everyone, just a quick intermission and we'll get back to the music. Thank you for listening to Two Tusks. This mini-series is made possible by all of your support over on patreon.com/LFGX. They got all of the episodes of Two Tusks before anyone else, plus they get full-length song previews and better audio quality. If you're interested in what's next, visit patreon.com/LFGX. My name is Bryce Castillo. Check out the Marbles racing streams I do at the website marbles.win or follow me on Twitch at Brycas, BRYCAS, to join in on the fun every Thursday night. My co-host is Jeff S. Thank you to him for joining me, and please show him some love over on the Rage Select YouTube channel, where he's been covering new video game releases and news for over a decade. That's Rage Select on YouTube or rageselect.com. You're listening to Two Tusks, hosted by Bryce C. and Jeff S., produced by Bryce Castillo. Fleetwood Mac's music, including Rumours Super Deluxe, Mirage Tour 82 Live, and Live in Boston, are available everywhere from Warner Records. Now, back to the Tusks. All right, we're back.
Yay.
For track number 4, it's Don't Stop. It's our first Christine song. This is Christine
This
written.
is a Christine song.
This is a Christine
I
song.
did not realize that changes a lot. Or no, that puts a lot in perspective for
Yeah.
me.
This is a little bit like Think About Me from Tusk.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's go into Don't Stop.
Okay.
If you wake up, don't wanna smile. If it takes just a little while, open your eyes, look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Why not think about times to come, and not about the things that you've done? If your life was bad to you, just think what tomorrow will do. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
All right, there we go. This is Don't Stop. It went a little too long. I let it go too a little too long than I thought. How do we feel about Don't Stop? Rockin', groovin', swinging track.
I like it. It's funny. It was like the fourth time I listened to it. It was like something was itching in the back of my head the entire time I was listening to it. And I was listening to it. And then today I was listening to it and I was like, this is a Beatles song.
Oh,
This
okay.
is like if you take out especially the piano intro, like almost musically, like it sounds like a Beatles song. Like they
Same,
even
yeah.
have like the kind of here comes the John Lennon solo with the electric guitar that we just kind of went out on.
Yeah.
And I also think that when I was looking at the lyrics for it, that there's like 2 lines in this song. I was trying to find them, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
There's like 2 lines that specifically reference like I've wronged you, or like it's a
Sure.
thing about a person. If you
I never meant any harm to you.
right,
Mhm.
like if you took those 2 lines out, then this is like just a very upbeat kind of like without that personal reflection. It's just like a here comes the sun, or it's a very like don't stop thinking about tomorrow. It's a very general upbeat kind of optimistic song that can be interpreted without the specific context of the the band relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
So
And too bad you get some of it. So this was written by Christine. In fact, Ken says that I never meant any harm to you is the sentiment of the song.
okay.
From Christine. She wrote this for John. Basically like, hey, come on. Like, don't stop.
Sure.
We're doing this. Think about tomorrow, right? The original title for Don't Stop was going to be Yesterday's Gone, which I think was a tentative title for the album until it became Rumours. The I want to say that there's like not too many like studio stories about this. Like I think they kind of had a sense that it was like a pretty strong, potential to be like a single track.
Yeah.
And I guess the most prominent thing is it's got the swing time,
Mhm.
dun, 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 and it has the tack piano. So instead of just like a normal piano, it has a tack piano is kind of what you would play like ragtime on.
Okay.
It's very simply, it's a piano, but they've put push pins in where the hammers would hit.
Okay.
There are push pins somewhere in the mechanism. Maybe they're on the hammers,
Okay.
but they give it that kind of tinkling ragtime sort
Kind
of
of
sound.
plink, 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 plink. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, don't stop.
I like it. It's funny. I thought, because I was trying to look up who wrote what, and I thought that this was Lindsay.
Yeah, because it starts with Lindsay. His voice is pretty prominent.
Yep. But knowing that it's Christine makes a lot of sense because it's a little bit more lighter. It's a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like this song quite a bit. It's probably my second or third favorite on this album. But then also, this was pretty popular, right? I've heard this song before, like especially the chorus. I've heard it.
Yeah. Don't stop.
Movies or TV.
So much so, it was the 1994 Bill Clinton campaign that used it as a theme song.
Okay.
So much so that he had the Mac reunite was at the DNC somewhere. They reunited and played some of this.
Okay.
That kind of started the ball rolling for Fleetwood Mac reuniting again in the 90s.
Okay.
Pretty much on the back of the song, right? And then also, it was a single. It had its time. Like a lot of the songs on Rumours got radio play just by the sake of how popular the album was.
Right.
Don't Stop being among them. I think the voice merging in Don't Stop is really cool, because similar to Think About Me on Tusk, like you can go a long time not really following the vocal interplay that's going on. It's Lindsay in the first chorus, but the verse, the second verse is Christine, and then in the chorus it goes back and forth. He's the Don't Stop. She's the Thinking About Tomorrow.
I had no idea. We can like 4 times and I didn't realize it wasn't just all Lindsay.
Here, listen to it again.
Okay.
Stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
Right?
I know. I'm still not hearing it. Like there's like a kind of a filter on there that makes it all sound very samey to me. But
it's not even a filter. It's just their voices gel so well together.
Yeah.
The one thing that did get brought up is the way that they recorded. So the vocal, we've got mics here in front of us, but these already have like a pop filter as a part of them.
Right.
What the mics that they had rigged up the mic with a pop filter kind of really tight on the mic.
Okay.
And they told the singers to get like lips on this pop filter. So I think that's part of the prominence of the way that the vocals merge together, because they were using a dynamic microphone, which gets better bass reception from the voice the closer you are to the microphone. It's like the one prominent thing about them is that the bass response is better when it's much closer to the source.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Like I'm giving you a Bill Nye experiment. And so I think maybe that's a part of it, of keeping the voices like kind of tight from getting too raucous and wild. I think because they had to be right here, it keeps them in check a little bit.
Interesting. I have to go home and crank that volume all the way up and see if I can hear it, because I swear I just thought that was Lindsay all the way through.
Yeah.
So
let's jump into the alternate Don't Stop.
Okay.
I'm going to say this is another one where I think we're seeing like an unfinished version of it. And I think this is the version without the tack piano. It's a little hard for me to tell, because I also think that the tack piano in the studio version is not in the full song. I think it's in prominent pieces of the song. But I think what we'll listen to with this is just a regular piano.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's
give
take
it
a listen.
Yeah.
If you wake up, don't wanna smile. And if it takes just a little while, open your eyes, look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Why not think about times to come and not about the things that you've done? If your life was bad to you, just think what tomorrow will do. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. All I want is to see you smile. If it takes just a little while, I know you don't believe that it's true. I never meant any harm to you. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Don't you look back. Don't you look back. Don't you look back. Don't you look back.
Oh, fun little end there. I forgot about that.
See, they were asking me what I thought.
Yeah, what
they
do
want
you-
to know.
So it's another take of Don't Stop.
Mhm.
No guitar, as far as I could tell in
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
There was the bass, there was the piano. It sounded like pretty much the final vocal take or something close to it. How did you feel about this pared back Don't Stop?
Not as good. I thought that as the song went on, it felt like the piano part was really stepping on the vocals. And then I started to notice about halfway through that whatever that piano part is, that like the beginning and the end sound like, God, I don't know what it's called. It's like that dun 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 dun, like the
Okay.
the background for that one little famous piece everybody plays on the piano.
Yeah.
Like the beginning and the end of whatever that piano part is sound like that with a little bit of razzmatazz in the middle.
Yeah.
And so having it be so far forward ended up making it sound more monotonous without the guitar to kind of liven things up.
Yeah. I think not having the guitar is a real tough one because that guitar helps that building.
Yeah.
Like I think by the end of this, if you like I gotta say suffered. If you survive to the end of this song, this is Elden Ring track. If you get to the end of it, you're like, okay, the beat is like really strong. The piano is kind of keeping us afloat. The vocals are like nearly finished.
Yeah.
And I think it gives you a sense of like the raw power of the song, but it feels unfinished. Like not having that little pad at the beginning.
Yeah.
Is also kind of tough. Like
I miss that little John Lennon guitar lick in the middle, like just a little, hey, shake it up a little bit. Also, there was this electric organ sting at the end there, and I was like, maybe more of that. I mean, maybe we have electric organ versus piano doing different parts of the song.
Another kind of weird instance of Fleetwood Mac putting something really complicated at the very end of a song.
Also, the Fleetwood Mac fade out. We kind of the fade out, but then we had
not on this one. This one just kind of crash ends. But yeah, you should listen to from the White Fleetwood Mac album. Is it Crystal? I want to say it's called Crystal, where it ends with like a synthesizer like solo by Christine, and she's just kind of noodling on it at the end, and it's really cool.
I don't think this band really knows how to end songs still. I don't think they ever really learned how to end a song. They either just kind of snap off or meander or something happens.
I kind of liked this one just kind of like closing, because to me, Don't Stop, once you get to the Don't You Look Back, we're already like in overtime. I'm like, let's wrap it up a little bit. This song, Ken from Making Rumours says that this was the song where the band was fully collaborating on all fronts.
Okay.
Guitar, piano, keys. It's interesting that it seems like it's a lot of the Christine songs where the band is like collaborating. And then where like the Lindsay songs where the music is happening.
Is Christine the Ringo? Is everybody just getting in there to prop up Christine's vision of just like, she's got a very sweet idea. Let's all just like, no one's going to step on poor Christine.
She's the hit maker. She's like the effortless hit maker.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that with Songbird, but like Christine, there's like no question to me. Christine is the hit maker in Fleetwood Mac. Don't even get to the 80s. I can see that.
Okay.
Any other thoughts on Don't Stop?
Nope. Really liked it. Really liked the album version.
It's it is lyrically the first one that is like, even with the little bit of drama of I Never Meant to Give You. Otherwise, it's still pretty positive. Like, hey, we don't hate each other that much.
I was trying to think. It was like Walking on Sunshine, like the Fleetwood Mac version of Walking on Sunshine. From everything that I've heard so far, just kind of unabashedly positive. So it
would probably be the only song Bill Clinton could get away with using from this album.
You don't want to use "Not That Funny," Bill Clinton?
It's not that funny, is it? All right, let's move on to Go Your Own Way.
I don't know why that's the song I always go back to. It made a real impression on me.
I know.
From season 1.
And it's not that funny. It's not even that funny.
That's right.
All right, let's do Go Your Own Way. Let's listen to some of this rocker.
Okay.
Loving you isn't the right thing to do. And how can I ever change things that I feel? If I could, baby, I'd give you my world. How can I, when you won't take it from me? You can go your own way.
Go Your Own Way. I even like the part that we cut it off where it goes chorus directly into the next verse. It feels really small, but it's little structural things like that that make me really appreciate the way that a Fleetwood Mac song tends to get built, because it is very rarely verse, chorus, bridge, double end chorus.
Sure.
Like they mix it up and they kind of keep you guessing in a way that is always like really entertaining. Go Your Own Way, a big hit song. When they were playing this, when they were talking to the record label, it was like this and Dreams that they would play for them, and they were like, that's it. You're not getting any more. Trust us, we got the goods.
Yeah,
I pretty much do. How do you feel about Go Your Own Way?
it's very funny. I really like this
not that
song.
funny.
It's not that funny. I really like the song. It's so weird though, because I think it's one of those songs where I've mostly heard the chorus and I never really listened to the entire song. And I realized, I was thinking about it, the first time I heard this in any way, shape, or form is in the movie Casino.
Okay.
There's a part where Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro go and they get in like his car so that the feds can't hear what they're talking about. And when he turns it on, this song is blaring on the radio. And he turns it down and they talk about this thing. And it's about his wife taking his kid and running off, and she wants to come back, but she's afraid. So it's interesting that is for me indelibly hooked into this song, and it makes it kind of like I don't want this to sound. It makes it like it's put this like
it like roots it, huh?
It's got this sleaze in my mind to it because it's connected to this mobster movie, right? Like, and like this kind of, this kind of like post-disco 80s like excess of crime in Las Vegas, and like, I don't know, it's all like that is in together in my head just because that's where I saw it first, or where I heard it first. So
well, and in the vertical of this album of being very thematic of hey, fuck off, I think it's pretty. There is a rugged individualism with Go Your Own Way. I mean, it's funny. There's an internet group in the past. This was years ago. I'm assuming they're still around, but it was called Men Going Their Own Way.
Oh,
and
sure.
Now every time I think about this song, I'm like, oh, is this the Pillars? Are they getting pilled on this song?
Are they playing this at the at the convention? No, it's funny too, because you saying that reminded me that, because I had mostly heard this in the chorus, I had always thought of it as a like, you could go your own way, do your own thing, get out there and live your dreams. And then when you listen to the verse, it's like,
no, it's like
you can fucking go your own way.
And you're going to be pretty lonely,
right?
For doing it, yeah.
So it's a lot of conflicting emotions when it comes to the content of the song.
You're right, because it does kind of go back and forth. The verse is has some amount of optimism, a little bit of like, hey, this is the cause and effect.
It kind of goes up musically. It's you can go your own way,
and then the chorus is like kind of the flag in the ground, like, hey, this is the crossroads,
right?
The line here, packing up, shacking up's all you want to do. Very much pissed off Stevie Nicks. She did not love being seen in the musical soap opera as, quote, packing up, shacking up.
Well, that was the thing, is when I was reading the lyrics last night, when I was, because I always listen to these a little few times before I read the lyrics, and I was reading the lyrics and I was like, Lindsay. Again, Lindsay, like
I know. And it's not even like the kind of angry song. I think nowadays when you think of like the angry song, it's like, fuck you, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna hit the gym, and I'm gonna get tan and all that stuff. And here it's
the CeeLo method. Yes.
And this is more, he was already tan. This is more we'll cut that. This is more like, we're at this crossroads, but we still have a chance.
Yeah.
Like,
it's more of an ultimatum.
I think if you're in kind of a tough relationship, then you want things to work out inherently. I think there's like an inherent level of like, maybe it's personal. I admit now I'm just speaking for the entire world, but you want things to work out because you're a partner in it, because you are staked in it.
Right.
And so, of course, it's presented as this dichotomy of you can go on your own or we can stick together. But I also, this is me breaking down very basic subtext, but the idea of, well, obviously you want it to work out,
Right.
but the fact that we're at the dichotomy point means that the go your own way route is already pretty heavy.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you see the waterfall, it might be too late.
Sometimes this kind of conversation happens when the writing is on the wall and you probably should have split up 2 to 6 months ago, right? Like, yeah. But what's interesting about that is that it's such an interesting song lyrically. Musically, it's just very smooth. It's a very smooth, like, it's easy to listen to. It goes down, you know, it's not challenging, like all the chorus and the smoothed out music in the chorus.
The chorus is incredibly smooth with the vocal harmonies.
Yep.
Like they're really well honed.
Even the go your own, like that's just like, it's almost like textbook. Like that's where you would put that part. Like,
keep a pin in that one.
Very iconic.
Very. And but then you also have the verses, which the verses have like a really interesting drum pattern because there's not really a kick, or the kick is really soft, but it's very focused on this tom-tom pattern with the snare. And apparently this was another part of the recording that Lindsay was like, no, you kind of need to, I want you to do this. He was trying to, but it is Mick playing it.
It works really well. It's one of the things that I sometimes miss in their songs, where it's like the verse is so subdued that when you break into that chorus with everybody singing together and suddenly everything comes up, it really just, you're like, yeah. And especially the way that the lyrics in the verse kind of build and build and build and build, and then it can boom into the chorus and it just drops right back in. It's a real roller coaster ride. It's fun.
Yeah.
Even though it's dark, it's still fun.
We love roller coasters.
Right.
The guitar solo at the end is a kind of Frankenstein, apparently.
Yeah.
So when you're
Edgar Winter came in, is that what sorry, that's a bad joke.
the kind of process for a lot of these songs is we need to make the backing track.
Yeah.
We need to focus on getting the rhythm and the drums and the bass good. It helps if we get a good vocal take, but like the guitar solo, we can get to that another time. The guitar dubs, Lindsay's going to be around. He's going to be around all the time. And so it is kind of a Frankenstein. Even maybe we'll play some of the guitar solo here at the end as well. But I want to say, listening to that guitar solo, you can almost hear it. I'm not going to say it feels like there are points where you almost hear like a doubling of the guitar because it's like takes coming together, some sort of like impossible guitar solo.
You take the 2 audio tracks, then you put the crossfade, and then you
crossfade them. But this wasn't fading. This was not crossfading.
Sure.
Each solo would have had its own track, and so it was a bit of, I need some of this, and I need some of this, and I need some of this, and this, and this.
Yeah,
you know, if it was as easy as clipping it together now, it would have been a different thing. Let's listen to that guitar solo here. It's a little fadey. A little fadey, where if you're really focusing, I think you can see where some of the pieces might be.
Yeah. I think what I was struck with, maybe it was because with the previous times I was listening to this, I was listening to the whole song.
Yeah.
It's a very 80s guitar solo, especially compared to a lot of the noodly Lindsay, like, kind of going all over the place.
Yeah.
It's a very just kind of like power solo
Ripping,
of like
yeah.
letting the electric guitar just do its thing. In fact, this whole track gives me this weird feeling of being like a crossfade between the 70s and 80s. Like
maybe, this is would have been in 76 when they were recording this.
Yeah. Starting to get into kind of the hair metal, not hair metal, but like the more 80s rock and roll type of stuff.
Absolutely. We're seeing a progression away from, I guess, away
rock,
from
folk.
psychedelica and the folk and into this becoming the Southern California sound.
Right. And again,
TM.
it's probably also the casino thing where it feels very like, it feels very like consumerist. It just has a different feel to it than a lot of other Fleetwood Mac. It feels more like even the pop songs that they do that I really like, it almost feels like, well, you shook up the snow globe of Fleetwood Mac and it just happened to all land in pop song. Whereas this just it almost seems like a different producer came in for this than a lot of the other stuff. It's just very different.
It feels more rock where a lot of I'm looking over the track list and like a lot of the Lindsay forward stuff other than Go Your Own Way is like not exactly rock. Like Secondhand News,
bluegrassy or
like Secondhand News is more folky and poppy.
Yeah,
Never Going Back Again feels very folky because it's all the guitar.
Right.
The Chain we'll talk about a little bit later, but that's a collaborative thing. I Don't Want to Know is super poppy. Where this feels like the really heavy rock song.
Yeah.
I guess with The Chain too, but like this is the capital R rock of the album.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably also why they gravitated towards it as like a single.
Mm-hmm. It's sure it was very popular. I mean, what a great radio hit when you're driving down the road in 1977 and you turn on, you hear that song. Yeah. Sounds great.
This was one of the early instances of Ken Calais kind of accidentally butting heads with Lindsey Buckingham. So they're recording this in Sausalito, and it's one of the early days of them recording. Ken, for some reason, the chapter on this starts with him waking up in the morning and finding out that his dog Scooter is stuck inside of the neighbor's dog.
Oh, no, Scooter.
And he has to hose the dog off to get it loosed. And then they recorded Go Your Own Way. So they're doing this like this demo session, and they're putting the song together. Like they're structurally, it's verse, chorus. They're and again, the band, like no one writes anything down, so they're trying to play it and learn it and figure out what they want to do to it. And while they're doing that, Ken recalls this. I'm going to read directly from Making Rumours. I whipped around and looked back at Chris. Chris is the person who was the tape monkey. He's the one handling all the tape.
Okay.
Clean tape, I mouthed. He gave me a thumbs up. Good to go, I said to Richard Dashett. We didn't want to waste a second. I was busy working on the sounds, and Richard's head was bobbing up and down with the beat, which we all knew meant that the groove was right. It was perfect. Suddenly, the band screeched to a noisy halt as Lindsay jumped up, turned and screamed at me at the top of his lungs. Damn it, Ken, let Richard fucking get in there and do something! He was screaming at me so hard that his face had turned bright red, and I could see veins popping out of his neck. Flabbergasted, I hit the talk back and blurted out, I'm not stopping him. I stepped away from the board so Lindsay could see that I was making room. Richard sat down and just looked at Lindsay as if to say, everything's fine in here, idiot. I didn't know what to make of it. Everything was going great, and then out of nowhere, blind rage. Over nothing. Is it me, or is that guy crazy? I asked Richard.
Is this a pre-rehab?
I
don't know if anybody.
So I don't think Lindsay went to rehab.
Okay.
Stevie Nicks famously did go to rehab, but I don't think Lindsay.
I also don't know if they who was on what at this point or whatever.
I mean, there's a lot of weed.
Yeah.
That seems to be like the one thing Lindsay is doing when he's not making music is rolling joints and smoking them.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of open cocaine use at this time. It's this is like a little bit before everyone had their own little personal little stash of cocaine.
Mhm.
So there was kind of just this constant like running to the bag and everyone like, please, Mick, please may I have a snort? And him doing this very like overly dramatic, like theatrical, oh yes, I'm entertaining you with some cocaine.
Okay.
No, if you didn't know it was bad,
Yep.
look, we don't need to get into that. There was
Sure.
drinking and drugging.
There weren't any PSAs on yet.
They didn't even have them yet.
Yeah, I didn't even have the brain on drugs. Like I didn't know about the egg at that point. So.
I know. Are we even on the alternate? We're not even on the alternate. Go Your Own Way. But yeah, Go Your Own Way. A very powerful, kind of tough song.
I think it sticks out. I think it sticks out a little bit in a good way.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it gels quite as well, but I think that's fine. So
yeah. All right, we're going to listen to the alternate Go Your Own Way. This is going to be the one from the recording sessions version. Here we go.
One, two, three, 4. Loving you isn't the right thing to do, but I can't ever change things that I feel. If I could, maybe I would give you my world, but I can't when you won't take it from me. You can go your own way. You can roll like thunder. Yeah, yeah. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Loving you isn't the right thing to do, but I can't ever change things that are real. If I could, maybe I would give you my world, but I can't when you won't take it from me. Woo! You can go your own way. You can roll like thunder. Yeah.
Go Your Own Way, another stripped down kind of earlier version of the song.
Yep.
Obviously arrangement stuff is not fully finished, but also the lyrics pretty different. The chorus,
Yep.
the second verse is not there.
Mm-hmm.
No packing up, no shacking up. But also you can roll like thunder.
I didn't know. I'm glad that I got told today that I could roll like thunder. I wasn't sure before, but Lindsay really nailed that down for me in this song.
Well, when the rain washes you clean.
Sure.
Yeah, a very interesting, because that's, you mentioned how like the chorus line is like fundamental. It feels you could go your own way, go your own way,
Right.
and then it's not there at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have the rhyming line. In fact, you have another line that doesn't rhyme at all.
Mm-hmm. No, this is this is what I would have expected Lindsey Buckingham's "Go Your Own Way" to sound like.
Yeah.
All of the fact that the music was pretty standard throughout. You didn't have the stripped down verses with the big, big feeling chorus. None of the vocal harmonies was there.
Right.
I feel like Lindsay was putting on some kind of Southern accent or something. Like, I don't know. It seemed maybe more than normal. I did notice it seemed like there was a bass solo at the end there, or that like there was at least some noodling on the bass. Like,
I kind of, listening to this, it made me feel like they hadn't figured out the bass line for this, because I think the bass line is kind of unique. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like, and it's at the end where he's like really getting into the groove of that pattern.
Mm-hmm. The fact that the solos were not electric, like, I think the whole thing is like this is the bones, right? But you needed all the rest of that for it to be like, if this had come out, this would have been fine, but I would have treated it more like one of the Tusk songs that I was medium about, as opposed to "Go Your Own Way," which I feel like is kind of iconic in its own way, right?
Yeah. And I think the difference between these, obviously the vocals are different, but I think a lot of it is, again, fit and finish and polish, is, putting that big solo together, finding the space for the electric guitar, figuring out the intro, which is like already kind of like slightly weird rhythmically.
Yeah.
But then you also, like, it needs that finishing, that little early guitar bit for the, interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of just interesting take.
Glad we got the version that we got.
All right, you ready to do our final track here on side one?
Sure.
This is Christine's ballad, Songbird. Let's take a quick listen here.
For you, there'll be no more crying. For you, the sun will be shining, and I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. To you, I'll give the world. To you, I'll never be cold. 'Cause I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. And the songbirds are singing like they know the score. And I love you, I love you, I love you like never before.
Songbird. What a sweet way to end to end the side, what's Jeff's take on Songbird?
Not my
Not your
bag.
speed?
Yeah, the main thing I got out of it was it made me wonder again. I was thinking about this intently, that if you were to, about how different it must have been to plan an album knowing that you had a flip of the record, right? That you have one side and then the other side, or even a tape, right? You have side A and side B, right? And how you might want, like, a conclusion, like this could almost be the last song on an album, but it's like the last song on a side. I think that, like, just fundamentally looking at the way that this all goes together, that putting that after Go Your Own Way, I mean, I guess I can kind of see it, but whenever I was listening to this side, it was like, oh, okay. I was so jazzed up, and now it's like, okay, now settle down, calm down, listen to Christine talk about love for a little while.
Which is funny because the sense that I got was putting the track list together was very much a late decision.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll talk about the Silver Springs of it all. So while they're recording the album, one of the songs that they're recording with Stevie that isn't here on this track list is called Silver Springs. And if you can believe it, it's like an 8-minute song. But,
I can believe it.
But it is this major song. It's got this incredible progression. The lyrics are really, really strong. But it's slower. It's kind of like it's a very powerful pop ballad. But it's kind of long. It's a little slow. And it famously got cut from this album. Originally, it was like 8 minutes, and they're like, obviously this is not going to work. We need to cut and cut and cut and cut. And it got down to 4 or 5 minutes. But they're approaching the end of this thing, and they know that there's not a lot of space for even a long 4.5 minutes would still be pretty long on this album. And it's Mick who kind of breaks the news to Stevie, like, hey, we can't put Silver Springs on here. That's where I Don't Want to Know kind of fits in as like, you can't have Silver Springs, but we've got I Don't Want to Know, and I Don't Want to Know is a little more upbeat, a little more positive, so we're gonna do that. And so that kind of leaves Songbird as the only really very down tempo or ballad like number on here. And I think that stinks. We'll talk more about Silver Springs when we talk about cut songs. So you'll get a chance to listen to it at another time. But it leaves Songbird as the kind of slow song on the album. And
I don't know why I compare it, but Songbird made me like Dreams a lot more.
Really?
Like as a kind of a meandering feelings song. I guess I'm not trying to be like chick songs on the fucking album, but like, I don't know. It just, I like Christine. I like pop Christine because I think that her concise, simplistic, heart works better when backed up by some, rockin' music.
And I'm similar. I'm like not super into ballads. I get it. So about Songbird, this was not recorded in any of the recording studios. This was recorded at Zellerbach Hall at UC Berkeley. So this is like a concert hall. They had a 9-foot Steinway piano, and they rented out a bunch of microphones, and they brought a remote recording studio truck, and they recorded it in this hallway. And it was also a bit of a to-do. Not the same level of Tusk, but it was a bit of a to-do, partly because Christine, they wanted her to play to a click track so that she would just keep time steadily, you know? And they tried it briefly, and she really didn't like it. She didn't like hearing the clicks. At the same time, she also has to play the piano to the song and not sing it. She can't sing it because she's in this big hall. All these mics are here. And if she
Oh.
sings, they're going to get picked up. And then it bakes it in.
Right.
If there's edits or changes, it's stuck there in all the reverb.
Yeah.
So the compromise that they come up with is we'll have Lindsay listening to a click track and have him strum the guitar behind Christine, just quiet enough for her to hear it, but not quiet enough to really get picked up. And I think that's why you can hear a guitar in this song.
Yeah.
This process was pretty difficult to do. It was tough.
Sounds convoluted as shit.
So they roll. I want to say that the crew started rolling in at 7 or 8 in the morning. The piano take was fully nailed at 1 a.m.
Oh,
That's it's a very long day.
yeah.
And then they did it was the end of the day. They spent all this time getting the backing track. And so they had Christine do a vocal take,
Mhm.
listening to the good take that they picked on headphones in the hall. So they still use the microphones.
Right.
But the thing was that, it was late. They really just wanted to get she just wanted to get out there. So they just really just mic her up with one of these nice mics, but it also meant she was close up to it, so you didn't get a lot of reverb from the hall.
Right.
So they get that vocal take. It takes about an hour for them to get that. And then the crew stay behind to get a reverbing of that vocal take. So they set up speakers in the auditorium
Oh,
and play back the vocals that she just recorded,
okay.
but then use all of these mics around the room to pick up the natural reverb
Right.
from the space. And that's how you get the different audio sound
Mhm.
from Songbird here.
Interesting.
Um,
That does seem like a to-do.
it's a bit of a to-do, and I think it is nice. I think it works well.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe
I mean, I think the song, there's nothing wrong with this song. It's just not
Sounds-
really my speed.
Yeah.
So,
And I think doing it in the concert hall and getting the really nice, accurate reverb
Mhm.
is cool, but it's 2025 and we've got so much reverb simulation now
Sure.
that don't impress me much.
I don't know. Sometimes the lengths that you had to go to for this stuff, that we can now just click the button
Right.
in whatever the software is to make it
Right.
get it done.
Because
Right.
they this took months to prep and they had
Sure.
to order stuff. They had to have a truck.
Yep.
It was a truck to record it,
But fucking cables going from outside to inside and a bunch of
Mhm.
microphones that are all on individual.
all of that. No, yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
So-
One last excerpt here from Making Rumours. Christine once said years later when the band was talking about getting back together, quote, "I agreed as long as I didn't have to play Songbird."
Christine.
John asked me why, and I said, because I don't want to cry anymore. And he said, you cry too?
Oh, geez.
I
It should
know.
make me feel bad about being like, take your feelings out of
Well, we contain multitudes.
Of course. Of
Um,
course.
Let's go into the alternate Songbird. I don't even know which one I've got here. This is the one from Sessions Rustin. Oh, this is I think what we're gonna listen to is Songbird as it was recorded with a different mix with a more prominent guitar.
Okay.
I think that's probably no. There's a kick drum too.
Mm.
I want to say maybe this is them trying to zhuzh up that auditorium one with either adding a guitar overdub or using some of the guitar from the space and a kick drum. There's just a little kick drum here.
Okay.
So here it is, the
That's a good
alternate
shot.
Songbird.
For you, there'll be no more crying. For you, never before. Like never before. Like never before.
It is more pop,
Mhm.
but less pop. It's different. Lest I influence you, I like the original
Mm.
better. I think subtraction, addition via subtraction, baby. Let's put it on a t-shirt. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed. I think that what that showed me was that more than even the tempo, more than the sentiment, this song makes me uncomfortable because it feels like it feels like voyeuristic. It feels like looking too much at somebody being really raw. And I'm like, I don't really know what to do with the way that makes me feel because
you've thrown yourself out of first person into second person.
yeah.
She's not singing to you.
Yeah.
She's singing to him.
Yep.
But it's your ears that are listening. What a salacious rumor.
I like the addition of more instrumentation.
A lot of guitar overdubs.
I like that personally because that's my taste. I think this song is probably better in the original album. Raw, very singular.
Yeah.
Let's not have the guitar come into the left channel for some reason. No, you're looking at this person singing a song like you do that. You don't need to be hearing other stuff. So
I feel like this arrangement would be better if the vocals were like if they developed the song more into more of a thing, less of a simple thing and more of a something more intricate, more vocals, more harmonies, whatever. I think that would be fine in a different endpoint. Like, I think there's a world where this is like the first step into something different, but I think the simplicity of the song, the simplicity of the piano and the guitar in the studio, it is almost like it's hard not to draw a line between this and Never Going Back Again simply because of the final arrangement, because it was both taken down to roughly one instrument, though completely different lyrically.
For me, this is part of my journey of like learning about Fleetwood Mac, where the thing is, the reason I was talking about Dreams before is because I think I like listening to Stevie sing more in this sort of format than Christine. I think I like Christine more in the pop. Like, I think that she's great in that, like her sensibilities. But I think that if it comes to listening to somebody stripped down and raw singing about their feelings, it's not really fair, but it's like I would prefer to hear Stevie Nicks than than what
oh man, I hadn't even considered like what this would sound like if Stevie sang it.
It's kind of like, when you listen to I get stuck on one thing.
Yeah.
You have a favorite Beatle, right? Like you like the Harrison songs, right?
Sure.
Like, or you like John better than you like Paul, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm a big Ringo fan.
I love Ringo too. And it's part of this big personalities, and the way that a lot of their songs are fronted by one personality means that, like, when I just think about which songs I like more, it's like, well, I like this type of, Lindsay song, and I like this kind of Christine song, and I like this kind of Stevie song. And then when they do something different, it's like, well, I don't really like that as much as I like your other stuff. So,
which I think is, I wonder, I obviously am not from 1976 in any regard. But I wonder how unique that would be to get an album, to hear a band, it's 1976, to hear a band that like has male and female vocalists, to hear a rock band that has that outnumbers female vocalists to male vocalists, And then to find just as much in the studio versions, right? Where it's Lindsay's got songs, Steve's got songs, Christine's got songs.
Yeah.
And even here where they're more merged together than they should have been in the White Album,
Right.
where everything came from these disparate sources, mostly everything came from disparate sources and came together. Here, you would think this would be the case of coalescing more. And maybe it is, but also you still end up with everyone kind of getting their moment.
Yeah, I mean, for any band, some bands, right? Some bands that kind of individual personalities are on Front Street. Sometimes it's like when you get really into a band and you know this song is by this person, this song is by this person.
Yeah.
Some bands are just fronted by one person and, it's not that big a deal. I think that because there's so much of this relationship turmoil and emotion in this, that like there's really no way that you can't see this band start to get a sense of who's where, just by listening to the music. So
isn't it just fucking wild how many albums Fleetwood Mac did put out post all of these breakups?
Sure.
I mean, even if you just look at the Rumours streak all the way to Tango in the Night. Rumours and Tango in the Night are the two best-selling Fleetwood Mac albums. I guess maybe, I don't know if the greatest hits are in there. And they nearly bookend this era of the band.
Yeah.
And they also represent like fucking 4 different stylistic changes also. Well, we'll get to that another time.
Yeah.
Songbird, I will say, I'm also not a fan of slow songs. I think part of that is because my musical upbringing was a lot of foreign music. And in foreign music, you already don't get the lyrics.
Sure.
So if you're going to slow everything down,
right.
I'm also not going to get the sentimentality.
You don't want to listen to Songbird in like Korean?
No, I hate it. It wouldn't hit. I also get the sense that like we got that quote about not wanting to do Songbird.
Yeah.
I understand a little bit more of like trying to have some amount of arm's distance from it.
Kind of disassociate. You need like 30% disassociation to make sure that you don't end up crying on stage and falling off of the
at
piano.
The finale
Right.
of the absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the alternate. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we did both of them.
Any other thoughts here on Songbird? Kind of a sweet end to the side here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to some of these songs on the second side. So
yeah, there's a lot of great stuff to talk about with those as well. The Chain famously has a bunch of stuff about it. You Make Loving Fun has its own story. You haven't heard Oh Daddy yet, have you?
Tell you what, no matter what you got to say, Fleetwood Mac is an interesting listen. It's like the musical equivalent of watching a telenovela. Like
one thing, I'm going to ask you next time.
Yeah,
if the duo of Oh Daddy and Gold Dust Woman, if that is a better or worse end to a side than Songbird.
Gold Dust Woman will be the first time that I go into one of these already knowing the song.
Oh,
because
hey.
Hole did a cover of Gold Dust Woman that was very popular in like the late 90s.
No kidding.
Yeah. And it was all over the radio.
How is that the one?
I don't know.
How is that the one? That's so crazy.
I don't know. It's like, I know Go Your Own Way from Casino, and I know Gold Dust Woman from Hole.
Like, and he hates dreams. And he hates dreams.
I hate dreams. It's like number 3 or number 4.
Out of 6.
Out of 6. Okay.
So what we've got here to close us out is a live version of Never Going Back Again.
Okay.
This is from the 2004 live on PBS in Boston. This is not on the audio disc.
Okay.
So I'm pulling this from a video somewhere. I thought there was a Palladia logo on this thing, but now I'm not even seeing that, so I don't even know where this shit's coming from. But that's where we're going to hear this from. This is an interesting one because the live versions of Never Going Back Again, the ones that I have seen, like we mentioned, we'll sometimes have the brush drums. We'll sometimes have John come in, but I would have to go back. I'm not aware of anyone coming in and trying to vocally sing with Lindsay. So this is a slightly different take. That'll just be Lindsay doing the solo guitar thing, but with an extra voice to help.
All right.
So here we go. The live on PBS in Boston, Never Going Back Again. Really nice.
Very sweet.
A very,
very sweet.
Yeah. And, this is in 2004.
Yeah.
This is years after the 90s reunion. This is Christina's not in the band at this moment. And the interplay between the two of them, she does a great harmony. But then also like, girl, the song's about you. Girl, he's looking at you. That song's about you.
I don't know. Sometimes with a song like that, when you see these bands that come back together a lot later, it's like the song mellows, it percolates over time, and it kind of takes on a different tone, right? I did notice that it was slower and less involved than the album. Because he's having to play it. Although there's little
he gets a solo in there too
with the kind of finger picking and stuff. That was very impressive. Like it still works.
His finger picking is like really, really awesome. The live version of I'm So Afraid is always just like a killer guitar. It's like a 4-minute guitar solo. It's incredible. I think Lindsay learned picking from, like, he was inspired by someone who did finger picking, kind of like you would for a banjo. Yeah. But for a guitar.
Okay.
It's cool. I feel like that's his back pocket thing. Give me a guitar. I'm gonna do Never Going Back Again. Funny enough. Okay. Last thing. A few years ago, Saturday Night Live was doing a series of sketches called "What Up With That."
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
I don't know.
What
do not.
Up With That? Oh, what up with that? It was a talk show, but they spent so much time singing the theme song that they never actually got to talk to any of the guests.
Okay.
And the running gag was that the third guest who they would never get to was Fleetwood Mac's Lindsey Buckingham. And I don't know if it's the last time they did that, but they actually had Lindsey Buckingham come out.
Okay.
For one of the sketches, and it wasn't Never Going Back Again, but he's got a one guitar version of Big Love. And so he's on and he gets like 20 seconds. So that's what and it was great.
Yeah. I don't know. That makes me kind of like the song a little bit more. Have only really been exposed to this messy era. I mean, we started with the strangeness of Tusk, and now we're into the rawness of Rumours, right?
Yeah.
And like I get the appeal. I like this. I like knowing that they can go on a stage together, at this point. So
and this was 20 years ago.
Well,
this was 20 years ago.
There you go. I mean, this Rumours 1977. I was born in 1978. So yeah.
Okay, well, we got to put a fork in this one.
Sure.
This is it for side A. We'll be back for side B.
Yeah.
We got 5 more tracks, though. We're going to have 6 alternates next time.
Ooh, okay.
And then I'm planning for us to do a bonus episode of the songs that never made it onto Rumours.
Okay.
That's going to include Silver Springs, but we're also going to talk about Planets of the Universe, and Think About It.
Sure.
So some other songs that have come out in other ways, but
is Think About It related to Think About Me? Was that was the?
No, it's not though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, interesting.
Is there another one called Is That Funny?
All right. That'll do it for Two Tusks. We are going to take you out with that live version of Never Going Back Again. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
She broke down and let me in. You don't know what it means to win. So come down and see me again.